Welcome Cancer to your in-depth weekly forecast for week commencing the 12th of February for the Sun or the Ascendant. Venus and Mars have been working their magic for you in your 7th house of late. Brilliant if you have been trying to connect with people, not necessarily just romantically, because Mars has given you thrust, but also a bit of protectiveness, and Venus no little charm and diplomacy. Your ability to connect with people has really been powerfully amplified. But of course we have had big energy developing since the 20th of January in the sign of Aquarius, which for you is your 8th house. That's where we take that relating and it then becomes invested in a much more devotional way. It's much more all in, and it can be to do with intimacy. Now, over the last 16 years, Pluto has had quite the impact on your relationships, and it may have actually taken some people out of your world that if you went back to before 16 years ago, you would have been amazed that that may have happened. Such is the potency of Pluto. Pluto in the 8th house is a very psychological influence. It's not just about setting your boundaries, as Pluto has helped you to do. One of the parts of your nature when you do feel a bit challenged is to withdraw, and then you can be a bit cool in the way of your opposite sign of Capricorn. So now we have Pluto in the 8th house. This is very much about long-term finances, shared resources, investments, can be to do with entrepreneurship, but most of all it can be about where we can get intimate. So some of the things you learnt with Pluto may have been about preserving your autonomy, your agency, but in some ways may have starved you of closeness to others. So the big challenge for you over the next years is going to be testing whether you are still wanting to connect at a deeper level with others. Now that can of course be in the ultimate context in a spiritual sense, but it can also be sexually. So Mars arriving in Aquarius on Tuesday, combining with Pluto, is hot. It's horny, to be honest. If there is someone that you're really into and you get on well, this could be quite the Valentine's Day. Also, Venus still in your 7th house on Valentine's forges a beautiful, delicate link to Neptune. If you also have very similar values and a spiritual alliance, that can be amplified too. But then by Friday, Venus joins up with Mars, Mercury, the Sun, in the sign of Aquarius. Now, of course, Venus in Aquarius is quite an interesting planet. I have it in this sign, can be a bit more detached, a bit more logical about relationships, have some very unusual relationships. But Venus combining with Pluto is again very sexual. So if you're someone who's wanting to bring into your life that closeness, that intimacy, that shared purpose that comes from a very involved relationship, and you don't have that at the moment, and all the talk of Valentine's Day leaves you a little cold, which I totally can relate to, what you can do is start to work on your inner world in terms of how you receive and give affection and closeness. And so this can be a very psychologically powerful week, as well as a very action-oriented week if you're lucky enough to be in that close tie. But of course the 8th house can, as much as it can be about new beginnings, it can be about endings. In a more overall sense, the 8th house can be about legacies, inheritances. If you've yet to write your will, for example, you may find yourself motivated to do that this week. There could be someone you can benefit from, someone who's doing well at business. Could be your partner at work. It could be the business you work in. Their improved fortunes can be reflected in your situation. So whatever's going on in your life, you need to really find out much greater amounts of information. Dive deep, penetrate down right into the nub of a matter, whether it's understanding exactly what your pension rights are, how much your contributions are, how much national insurance you're paying, is there some scope to alter your tax affairs to your benefit. All these things come under the astral microscope in a big way this week, and then with the quarter moon, as the week draws to a close, if there is a friendship in your world that you're finding is cramping your style a little bit, you may want a weekend off from it at the very least. Thank you so much for watching this sun sign forecast. If you'd like to ascend above this and embrace the power of more serious astrology, if you give me 3 pieces of personal birth data of time, date and place, or date and place, I'll produce for you your life roadmap report. This will give you searing insights to the patterns that are played out in your life so far, and a much more intimate understanding of how you can work with those energies to your advantage. Also, within my special package of 30% off, you'll get your 12-month transit forecast, which interacts with your unique natal birth map, totally individual to you. And you can also get 30% off and your free zodiac, Chinese, Indian and love forecast for year 2024. Please see the link below.